So I want to talk a little bit about Operation Paperclip, which basically the United States government and so forth took a bunch of Nazi scientists from Nazi Germany post-World War II, and rather than charging them with anything, they just imported them over to the United States and put them to work at the top of NASA and the MK project, the CIA, and numerous other factions of the United States government, military, and other similar things. So there are definitely well over 1,000 cases of that, likely thousands. As far as the NASA thing goes, there are Wernher von Braun, one of the top main founders of NASA, was one of the right-hand men of Hitler for the German Nazis, and one of the main founders of NASA. Interesting side note, now that I'm talking about NASA, but Walt Disney, which very well-known guy, founder of Disney, fiction writer, also Wernher von Braun was a fiction writer, wrote a book about something called the Elon on Mars, which interestingly now, Elon Musk, one of the richest people on the planet, planet Earth, has his own space program, SpaceX, which is kind of competing with NASA, and he wants to go to Mars and all this. And but anyways, so Jack Parsons also helped found NASA, fiction writer, into the Nazism and everything. Walt Disney, as I mentioned, was a big part of it, and even in the early days, like even pre-World War II, some of the Disney cartoons with Mickey Mouse and so forth, very pro-Nazi propaganda. And L. Ron Hubbard, who's also a fiction writer, science fiction writer, and founder of Scientology, a major cult with a lot of celebrities involved. And, it's interesting that someone who founded a major cult like that is well known for celebrities being a part of, and also a science fiction writer, and these other fiction writers who are all into the Nazis are the founders of NASA, which is a major government space program. Basically the space program that supposedly has gone to space and went to the moon, which definitely didn't happen. Even Stanley Kubrick admitted that the moon landing was a hoax, so it's pretty obvious to most intelligent people that the moon landing was a hoax anyways. I mean, the United States government and military was pretty much, in a sense, always on the side of the Nazis, even prior to World War II, when they helped bring them into power. And then they imported all these Nazis after the fact, after World War II, and just put them on the payroll in the highest forms of government and similar programs, and all this kind of stuff. And most of the other Nazis went off to places like Argentina, Chile, Antarctica, Brazil, some other countries, mostly in Americas, and like I said, Antarctica. There's whole communities in South America where these people are ancestors of German Nazis, and they are super proud of it, and they have all the Nazi memorabilia from their families, and they tote it around. And there's even a bunker that supposedly Hitler escaped to, although that part is more of a theory, a possible theory, because there's other ideas like Hitler. This one is a crazy idea, but it's possible. You never know. There was a Russian author who this book was only allowed to be written in Russian, but somebody translated it, and they wrote about how Hitler and his wife went with the help of dolphins to the inner Earth, to Agartha, that's the common Buddhist term for the inner Earth civilization. And there's a portal through Antarctica where there's a lot of Nazi bases. And Antarctica is a whole interesting thing because there's only a few countries that are allowed to have bases there. Basically, the United States. There's only a few countries that are allowed to have bases there. Basically, the United States, Germany, I believe Norway, and maybe like, well, there are a few other ones like the British and some South American nations and so forth, but nonetheless, it's limited, and basically governments have to have special permission for scientific projects and so forth in a small specific area in order to legally be allowed there, and it's basically illegal to go to Antarctica. No country has overall claim to the entire land or any large part of the land. Like I said, it has to have special permission for scientific research, and you can actually get shot and killed for going there. And so there's a lot of theories about it. Ideas that the land just keeps going on and that it's tropical at some point. There was only one guy, Admiral Byrd, who was allowed to fly over both poles, and he claimed there was all sorts of like tropical lands and crazy stuff like that. Antarctica definitely has pyramids. People like Graham Hancock have talked about that. There's so-called like potential portals, like I said, that maybe that Russian author was talking about, that Hitler and his wife could have gone through to the inner Earth. But a lot of these are just potential ideas, but there's no doubt that Nazi scientists have gone all around these places after World War II and done a lot of crazy projects. Also with Operation Paperclip in the United States, there was Japanese scientists. This part may have been part of a different operation, but there were definitely Japanese scientists from World War II used in some of these things, such as MKUltra, along with the German Nazi scientists, and of course, they were on the same side in World War II, Germany and Japan. So, and United States was using their techniques to do terrible things. Basically, Nazism, the purpose of it, Nazi Germany, was, at least for a large part, along with a lot of these other projects I mentioned, was to bring in Zionism in the state of Israel. They had already planned this out well before World War II. Of course, the Nazis were already a thing before World War II, but that was a big part of the reason. They were working in conjunction with each other, and they don't care who they killed, whether it was Jews or any other group that they killed during that time. A lot of groups were killed in much larger amounts than Jews, but of course, there's not a lot of focus on that comparatively. So, but yeah, there's a lot more related to this that I can get more into, explain more. So yeah.
Okie dokie, so basically, there's so much to this topic, but that's good for now on that.